While we are still busy in this part of the world, Africa, precisely Nigeria, still thinking about how to win election or how to rig election, as the case may be, the Chinese government has taken a very big and bold step that effective from 1st of September 2025, that all primary and secondary schools, all primary and secondary education will now have to integrate AI education into their curriculum. That is to say that AI education, artificial intelligence education, has become mandatory in all primary and secondary schools in China. So whether you like it or not, from the age of 6, according to the memo that is currently readily available on the internet space, at the age of 6, you will be exposed to AI education, artificial intelligence. According to verifiable information that is already available on the internet space, the primary education will be introduced to basic AI, while the secondary education student will now dive a little more deeper into AI innovation, practical hands-on experience, applications, using AI to solving, real-life situations or real-life problems. Do not forget that this very step that Chinese government has taken so far is not the first, because some time ago when a Chinese company that is called DeepSeek, started getting international recognition. DeepSeek is a Chinese AI company which is very similar to every other open AIs like ChatGPT and the rest of them. This very company started getting a lot of recognitions as a result of their modification and other improvement in developing large language models. This very Chinese AI tool or app is also said to be very, very cost effective. Now, here are the issues. The moment this very Chinese AI company started getting a lot of international recognition, immediately the Chinese government made AI education compulsory at the university. And before you know it, the number of enrollments that triggered at the university level became enormous. That is to say that in the China of today, that artificial intelligence education is a compulsory subject that you must pass through, whether you like it or not. You see, the Chinese government is very intentional because they made it very clear that their intention is to dominate the world emerging technology. Globally, they want to be the dominating nation when it comes to emerging technology. And you know what that will do for you in the 21st century, where artificial intelligence is coming in to reshape the way we think, the way we do things, and the way we solve problems. Imagine when a child at the age of 6 become exposed to basic AI tools, and on getting to maybe 12 or 13 years, start looking into AI applications, innovative AI, and then using artificial intelligence to solving real-life problems and other complex academic problems. You have an idea what that child will become when he's of age to get to the university. See, whether you like it or not, Chinese government understand that education is part and parcel of the HDI, Human Developmental Index, which is one of the world-class global metrics or KPI, through which nations' development is being monitored or checkmated. We have 3 key dimensions through which, this HDI is measured in every country. One is education, one is health, and the last is the income. You see, in Africa, in Nigeria precisely, it breaks my heart that we are yet to have politicians who understand how to develop an economy, how to develop a country, and how to make a country functional. One thing I will never stop referencing is for the singular reason that somebody, for example, like P2B, understands how to measure these very indexes, this HDI. And that is why P2B cannot speak without mentioning investment in education. P2B cannot speak without mentioning investment in health. You see, the moment you ignore these critical KPIs, that country is not going anywhere. You see, what Chinese government is doing today, in the next 10 or 15 years, I do know that China will compete, head to head with the United States of America, even though I still know that America still remains what it is, because America as an immigrant country will give you a level playing ground. America will give you all the support you need in this life to make it, especially if you are a genius and you want to go into startup. That is why many startup companies you see today in the world that is doing perfectly well, majority of them migrated from their home country down to the United States of America, because no other countries in the world can invest the amount of money that the American government invests on young chap, investors, developers, and genius who are all the time diving into solving complex problems by springing up businesses through startup. So America as a nation will always have that very edge, above and better than every other country. But that is not to say that what China is doing today, that America as a nation will not feel the influence or the heat. Definitely they will, because China is very intentional. What is going to happen in the nearest future is yet to be told. This should be a lesson to our politicians in Nigeria, who are always going about planning and planning and planning on how to win an election or how to rig an election, as the case may be. Without intentional investment in education, this time I'm not talking about White Elephant Project, because the problem we have in Nigeria is not that we are not making effort to invest in education in some cases, but because we do not have men and women of integrity, impeccable character. There is no supervision, there is no adequate monitoring. At the end of the day, this money that is being budgeted is squandered by somebody and the business continues as usual. But you hear P2B oftentimes talk about how he was able to put to a stop some of the criminality and fraudulent activities going on between schools and local government. You know what I mean? The federal government will allocate money to schools, and then local government will say, okay, let this money come to us before it goes to school. And P2B said, why will this money move from here to here? They said it's for adequate supervision. P2B now said, okay, let's take the money from the federal government and give it direct to school, and then all of us will now go and supervise them. That's exactly how he was able to put a stop to that very criminality. That is the problem we have in Nigeria. And that is why people like us continue to lend our voice for an intentional, a man of impeccable character in the person of P2B to come into the polity to put things right. We are still here talking about the election, talking about who squandered money. Now EFCC is looking for the former NMPCL boss. Say they don't freeze 4 accounts that belongs to him. The same story every now and then. To who shall we run to in this country? To who shall we run to? Well, good people, whether you like it or not, we still have a lot of work to do in Nigeria. We have a lot of work to do. So many people in this country, Nigeria, don't even know what AI represents or what AI stands for. Many of them have no idea. But here is China mandating that AI education, artificial intelligence education, is now mandatory in primary and secondary education. May God deliver us as a people and give us credible leaders. It is not even a prayer that is supposed to be made, because we already know who are the credible leaders that should come into this polity and begin to give us the dividends of democracy that we deserve. Well, at this point, I'll allow you guys to be the judge. Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comment section and share this video. Man, another person, Siam. God bless you.